All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about a fight being offered to Terence Crawford, and it is one in which he can keep his word to a man he had called out for a fight for undisputed at 154 pounds, Jermell Charlo. Let's talk about that. And get your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 168, 160 pound division, where Terence Crawford is now the undisputed champion in the 168 pound division, and people are asking and wondering, who will he fight next? Will it be a rematch with Canelo Alvarez? Well, apparently that will not be the case anytime soon, as Canelo Alvarez has had elbow surgery, I think he had surgery on his elbow, and will not be back until the early part of 2026. So Terence Crawford, who is the undisputed champion in that division, will either have to drop a belt more than likely, or he will have to fight somebody else to defend that belt because of the length of time before Canelo Alvarez will be able to have a rematch, especially if you think about the fact that Canelo Alvarez has a 2-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh, or 2 fights remaining on his deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. So you can almost rest assured that Canelo Alvarez, who does not have any burdens on him to defend belts, will take a nice little cherry pick off his elbow surgery and his absence. So you are really looking at a fight that won't take place anything less than a year from now, most likely. So who is Terence Crawford going to fight? If you remember, in the lead up to the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Charlo reminded via a AI poster of Terence Crawford and in the jaws of a lion. I can't remember what the picture actually looked like, but it was Jermell Charlo had put out a bunch of pictures of Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, a giraffe for Sebastian Fundora. That is the fight that Terence Crawford, I am going to argue, should take for several reasons. He doesn't have anybody to fight at 168 other than Ahmad Shiraz. If he fights Ahmad Shiraz, that's going to definitely have to be paid for by Turki Al-Sheikh heavily, because that dude is a 175-pound fighter for sure that is going down to 168 pounds. Terence Crawford is on record saying the only reason that he was considering fighting Canelo Alvarez was because Canelo Alvarez is not that much bigger than him. But and he was saying that in talking about David Benavidez and whether or not Terence Crawford would be willing to fight David Benavidez. Terence Crawford said David Benavidez is too big. Well, if you look at Ahmad Shiraz is every bit as big as David Benavidez. Now, Shiraz is probably not as tenacious as David Benavidez, definitely not as dangerous as David Benavidez, but the size factor is still there for him and a considerable risk. And if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm not taking a big risk in my next fight because I took a big risk in my last fight. Plus, I want to get that rematch with Canelo Alvarez and keep the belts if you can. So who can you fight? I would say if he's going to be able to, it can't be a guy that is at 168. He's got to bring somebody up to 168 pounds to do that. And there are two, and again, they're the two people are Jermell Charlo and Jermall Charlo. Jermell Charlo is somebody he called out and said that he wanted to fight and was, when looked down at him before it, while he was beating up on Errol Spence Jr., saying that's what he wanted to do. Jermell Charlo has never lost at 154 pounds. He did lose to Canelo Alvarez. He went the distance, didn't look good, didn't look like he wanted to engage. But look, man, styles make fights, man. Styles make fights. And obviously, that style of Jermell Charlo, he was not willing to go in there and throw bombs like that and really attack Canelo Alvarez because of what was coming back with him. Where a much more athletic and skilled Canelo Alvarez was able to do that. But that doesn't mean that Jermell Charlo can't give a good fight, an entertaining fight to Terence Crawford, especially if the fight is somewhere at 160, right? And they can have it at 168, but neither guy come anywhere near that. Or they can, if Jermall Charlo has a fight or two, that would be a great fight for Terence Crawford as well. And I think it would be something that Jermall Charlo would deserve. And knowing Terence Crawford and the fact that Jermall Charlo probably isn't psychologically where he should be, that could be a fight as well for Terence Crawford. And let me not leave another American fighter that is around that weight class and the size of Terence Crawford, Demetrius Andrade, out of that as well. Demetrius Andrade had said that he wanted to fight, was looking to fight Jermall Charlo. And hey, man, that's more than likely is something that can get made, seeing as they've both been fighting on PBC cards. The winner of that could be in a good position at 160 or 168 to fight Terence Crawford. There's no reason that I can see for Terence Crawford, if he is going to fight, for him to have to fight guys like Hamad Shiraz, or for him to have to fight guys that are like Janabek or people like that really are not going to be appealing for the demographic that should be most supportive of Bud Crawford. And if he fought guys like that and beat them, I'm telling you, man, more and more people will get behind Terence Crawford. And I just think that'd be a fantastic thing for his career, because everybody that I'm saying he could fight, I think that he has the ability to beat. The only people that I really think that are extra dangerous for Terence Crawford at this point in time in his career are guys like Hamad Shiraz, David Benavidez, even David Morrell, if David Morrell was still at 160, guys like David Morrell, or, to use really extreme examples, guys like Beterbiev, or guys like Dmitry Bivol, guys like Alexander Wojcik. Those guys, those really big, long, rangy guys around that's the real problem for Terence Crawford at those weight classes. And something at his age and considering how many weight classes he's been in, aren't really realistic fights for him, I don't think. Even though they're fights that I'm sure people would try to convince him to take, I don't think that those are fights that he should take, because, it doesn't take much. Right? Doesn't take much slippage at that age with guys that big to be in a lot of trouble. So look, man, that's what I hope Bud does. I hope he seriously considers Jermall Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, guys like that, man. Erislandy Lara is somebody else that I think would be a terrific fight with Terence Crawford, and a technically very, very difficult fight for Terence Crawford is a guy named Erislandy Lara, who's up around 40 years old, still a couple years older than Bud. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.